Ich bin Joe Loehrmann und ich reise in meinem Traveling Piano durch die Welt und gebe Klavierkonzerte auf einen hin. Momentum zu haben bedeutet für mich, Wege zu gehen, die sonst noch kein anderer gegangen ist und nicht auf das zu hören, was alle sagen, sondern meinen Mut zu haben, auch wirklich eigene Ideen umzusetzen, auch wenn alle sagen, es funktioniert nicht. Zusammen mit meinem Vater haben wir diese Konstruktion geplant und ein normales Klavier genommen und das dann auf eine fahrende Plattform gestellt mit wirklich stabilen Rädern. Es gibt so Momente, da stimmt einfach alles. Da ist auf einmal vielleicht die Umgebung ruhig und die Leute halten inne, die hören die Musik, das Klavier klingt in dem Moment toll und ich spüre das und bei den Leuten kommt es an und das, ja, wenn es spätestens wenn es bei mir Gänsehaut erzeugt, dann erzeugt es auch bei den Menschen, die zuhören, Gänsehaut. Ich kann mich immer ans Klavier setzen und meine Gefühle ausdrücken. Und wenn es mir schlecht geht und ich spiele, dann geht es mir danach nicht wieder besser. Mit dem Klavier war ich jetzt auf einer Europatour letztes Jahr in der Schweiz, in Frankreich, in Süddeutschland, in Italien, in Österreich. Und dieses Jahr soll es nach Skandinavien noch gehen, vielleicht Osteuropa. Das Besondere ist eigentlich, dass die Menschen alles andere erwarten, außer Klaviermusik unter freiem Himmel. Und sie dann rausholen aus dem Stress, in dem sie vielleicht gerade sind, und dann mir wieder zuhören und mir nachher sagen, dass sie diesen Moment total genossen haben. Das ist schon wirklich toll.
So, as you can imagine, I have always traveled with the piano. About 10 years ago, I was working, believe it or not, at BMW. And I started in a program, 3-year program apprenticeship. And I think after the first week, I knew that it was for me. But because you're supposed to finish things you start, at least that's what society tells you. And at the time, I didn't know better, so I got through it. The whole 3 years. And it made me really sick, physically. At the time, I lost 20 pounds, and as you can see, I'm not a really fat guy, so I was really at the bottom. I was sick for a long time. And I felt in prison at the company at the same time, but really didn't have the courage to go out or do something else. And so in the third year of the apprenticeship, it got a little better, so I went to the marketing department, which was more interesting. And when I graduated, there was a piano player that was booked for that night. Of course, you can imagine, I have played piano for my whole life, so I was really curious to see him. And that guy, he came to the company and brought his own grand piano. So I was pretty interested about that, and I really wanted to talk to him, and because I always want to play the piano if I see one. So I really jump on the piano because I can't help it, I just need to play. So, but still, I had so many fears. Do my colleagues want me to play? Because, or my bosses, they were all there. Do they want me to play because they paid for this piano player? He's a professional piano player, they paid a whole lot of money, so they want me to play. And also, I thought, I cannot ask this piano player because it's his piano, and he's booked here, so I cannot ask him. So many fears came into my head. There's often in life so many fears and so many decisions we're facing, and this was one. And I decided to ask him. So I just asked him, would you mind if you play piano for things? He said, yeah, of course, go for it. So I sat down at the piano, my hands were shaking, and I played a song, and suddenly all the colleagues and bosses they gathered around the piano, and they were all really surprised because nobody really knew I could play the piano. And then the piano guy, he came and sit next beforehand improvising something, and it was just great. It was so much fun, and everybody was cheering us up and applauding. That was the first time I felt seen in that company. So after these 3 years, I really had to go out. I felt imprisoned in this company, so I went on a round world trip. I wanted to combine it with music. I wanted to play piano everywhere I could find it. So that's what I did. I traveled around just with my backpack, and I went to places where I could find and play piano. So when I got to the place, the first thing I did, where's the piano? And I asked everybody on the phone. And on this trip, I also wrote a list, very simple. Because I had the feeling I was doing or living my life for someone else for 3 years. So this was my trip. This was about me. So I wrote down what are the things I really want to do and enjoy. So there were simple things, right? Like meeting nice people, inspiring people, traveling, exotic places, taking piano, of course, go swimming naked in lakes, whatever. Okay? So, and I had, there was this idea that came out in my mind. I was always very sad that I couldn't play the piano when I was traveling. It was very hard to find one. That was what I learned during my trip. I couldn't find a piano as often as I wanted to play. So I thought it was so sad that I cannot combine traveling and playing the piano. And then I was like, manage, actually. So I came up with the idea to build wheels under my piano. To get a piano, build wheels, get a van, and get it inside. And that way travel around. So this is in New Zealand, the most southern part of New Zealand, during my trip. And sometime later I went to Bali, and I met this very inspiring woman in a restaurant named Luwood. She was sitting by herself, I was sitting by myself, and I just wanted to talk to her. But then there were these fears again. Maybe she doesn't want to talk. Maybe she wants to be by herself. Maybe she thinks I'll hit her. Maybe, I don't know, all these ladies, all these fears again. They're often just an example of many situations where you're facing decisions. And I just said, okay, I just walk up to her. And I asked her, and she was so nice. She invited me, come on, we eat together. And so we spent a really nice evening. And I told her about my idea of traveling with the piano in the van. And she could really see it. She said, oh yeah, I can see it. You with the piano and you go to Australia and everywhere, New Zealand, the whole world, and you roll the piano, you play for people and they will love it. And so that was the night when I really believed my dream could be possible. Thanks to her. And thanks to, I said yes to myself to speak to her. That night, I went to the last certificate that was still open, and I registered my domain, mytravelpiano.com. So that was a milestone for me. Even though I had this idea and this dream, I still didn't share it with the world. I just was thinking about it, but I came back to Germany, I continued my studies that I started in between, my studies of international tourism management, and I went to Latin America for a year. And right before finishing my studies, I was always finding an excuse, the moment was never the perfect moment that we've seen before in the video. I always waited for the perfect moment. And I wanted to finish my studies first, before I take the piano, and before I travel. So, I was waiting since the idea first came up to my head, I think it was 4 years. And then I still hadn't finished my studies, but one day I just knew, if I'm not going to do it now, I will never do it. So I did it right before I finished my studies, and I knew I would take all my energy that I had into that project, and I would not be able to finish my studies when I do that. So I started the project when I only had to finish my bachelor thesis. So a very tiny bit, I couldn't do it anymore. I just started to build the piano. So as I have two left hands when it comes to building something, luckily not for playing the piano, I called my dad because he's great at that. So I called him, Dad, we need to build a traveling piano. He said, okay, I can do it. So from that time we were for a long time and planning everything and what do we really need to build it. And so it took like 3 months to build the piano wheels. And then one day before my birthday, it was finally ready. I wheeled it out on the streets. And that day I felt really happy but also very ashamed at the same time, because I was thinking, oh, what do all those people think about me, about this crazy guy like pushing his piano through the streets? But yeah, I didn't care, it was my dream. So since then, this is how I get my piano around. I got a van, I have wheels under the piano, I have ramps, and I get it inside, I fix it, and I just go to the next place. When I'm in some place, I just wheel it out and I can roll it up to another kilometer maybe. So since then, it's been 3 years that I'm traveling like this. I've been making a living from that. Through selling my CDs online and offline, when I play outside doing concerts. My work is music, so I can't imagine getting there. I'm in the outside, I'm in the open air. I can work outside under the sun or in the shade or wherever I want to, but it's outside, not in the building. I love that. I can go wherever I want. I live in my van. I don't have an apartment. I live in that van, so it's not a lot of space, but it's possible. And I don't know, but I just enjoy it so much. And there was another dream that I had last year. I wanted to compose my own music, because until then I only did cover songs. I wanted to record my own music and be at a really inspiring place. And I wanted to go on a small island, and I couldn't go there with my traveling piano. So I went there anyway. I went to a small island in southern Thailand, and that's the view that I had for composing all the songs from the album. The one that I just played is the last song on the album. It's called Coming Home. And yeah, that was a very short time on that island, so I stayed there for 2 months and only being near the beach and composing these songs. So, personally, what I've learned from these experiences in the past years, if you're facing a decision, you always take so many decisions every day, small decisions and maybe big life decisions, but there's always a lot of decisions that you're facing. And you ask yourself, maybe should I do it, or maybe should I not do it? So many fears come up all the time. So, from my experience, I just want to tell you, always go for the yes. And always go for whatever makes you happy. Thank you.